My first question is like, can you tell me about how your journey as a filmmaker started, why you wanted to become a filmmaker?
Um, I think I wanted to become a filmmaker from a very young age. When I was 12, I wanted to be an actor, but I also wrote my own scripts already, and I directed some short films. And when I was 18, I went to acting school, and then I realized in film I have like control over music, acting, writing, image, and I just like so much stuff of aspects of art, and I think in film you could, you can combine everything. Um, yeah, so that's it. It started basically very early on in my life.
Okay. So, if I'm correct, like you are a teacher at Utrecht Schools of Arts.
Yeah.
Okay, so how does teaching influence your perspective as a filmmaker?
Oh, it's I think it influenced me very much because it's good to see so many different people from so many different backgrounds. And because of, yeah, you have to explain everything that you do and to explain everything to the students, um, and to make it, um, that you have to put it in words, then you have to think about your own work in words as well. So in that way it's really easy to tell what you would like to, transfer your ideas to other people. And because I teach, I see so many things, and you have to be really quick with your feedback because there isn't a lot of time to think about. So it really makes you sharp, um, in your notes. So it helps me, to be really sharp about all the stuff that you write and direct. And on the other hand, because there's such a variety of students, they also really inspire me as well with their own work. So in more ways.
So, you teach filmmaking there?
Yeah, I teach filmmaking at the University of Arts in Utrecht.
So, as a aspiring filmmaker, like film school really helps a filmmaker to make films, or it doesn't really. Like, what's your opinion on that?
Um, well, I have two opinions about that. The first is, it's a free, it's a free job. No, that's not the right translation. And everybody can become a filmmaker. You don't need papers to become a filmmaker. Um, so in that way, you don't need film school. There are, if you're really talented and you really know how to look for the people that inspire you and that can help you develop your own voice, that's great. But on the other hand, a film school is also a place where you are forced to think in certain ways. And what I also think is, the film industry is a lot about connections, and you have to talk to a lot of people. You have to know a lot of people, and that's really hard if you don't have that kind of people around you. And school is a really good starting point to, yeah, to create your network. Um, yeah, and it really helped me as well to, develop myself. I think if you're on your own, you pick all the things that you like. In school, you also have to do stuff you don't like theory or, and in the end, it kind of, yeah, of course, it helps you if you don't, even if you don't in the beginning think it's really interesting for you. But in the end, it's a whole package that you get. So it's, I don't know. I haven't seen many people without film school seen that they could manage.
So let's talk about your film Idyllic. So it's going to have its premiere at Rotterdam. So it
Yeah.
focuses on generations searching for fulfillment. Like, what inspired you to tell the story, and how did you approach it, multi-generational perspective?
Well, the inspiration, the starting point was I got cancer when I was 22, so in a very young age. And then I realized on a very early age, yeah, that the things that are important are very small. Like people around you, your friends and family, and that cliche stuff. It's a cliche for a reason. And I wanted to make a film about that, and I couldn't tell all the things with just one character. So I wrote a variety of characters, and then I put them together, and organically it turned into a mosaic film. Um, and while writing, I knew, oh, this is the grandma of that person, this is the brother of this person, this is the son of that person, and just kind of organically came together. Um, yeah, that's how I started.
And if you could tell me in detail, like, what was the writing process? Have you gone to script labs as well?
I started in the summer of 2018 after a variety of attempts to write the script. Um, and I thought, okay, I had somebody else write the script and it didn't work out. And then I thought, okay, if I really want to tell the story and you think you can do it, just do it yourself. So there was a very hot summer in the Netherlands, 2018. We had a heat strike uh, for a month. And I had 2 months off, and I thought, okay, I'm going to write this now. And every day I wrote till 12 o'clock in the morning. And after 2 months, I kind of had a script, and I let it read to the producer, and he was really enthusiastic. So we decided to get some money from the Dutch Film Fund. We got it, and then there was a variety of courses that we took, and one of them was EAVA. I don't know if you know it. It's a producers lab in Europe. I think it's a global. I think it's a global workshop. Yeah, we got it in the pandemic, so we were in Luxembourg, and the last day of the workshop, the pandemic came out, and we all had to leave the country, and then we were in lockdown. Um, but we did that, and there was also a program on IFFR called Boost NL. It was for Dutch projects, and you were attached with a script consultant and somebody from marketing, and they would take a look at your script, and then they would help you develop the script. And yeah, we had some great sessions with script consultants who really dove into the story, because it's a very complex story with because of all the multi characters and even multiple dimensions. So yeah, it was really hard for me to grasp even what it was about, because I just wrote stuff out of my, there wasn't a synopsis at the beginning. I just wrote scenes, and they really helped me to get some structure in it. And yeah, so it took me 4 years to write, and then we had 1 year of production, of pre-production, and then we shot the film. Yeah.
So just like that, if you could tell the funding about the film, like like you said, there's a state fund in Netherlands that supported you. Are there any other funds as well? And how does independent filmmaker in Netherlands like make their films in general as well?
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, we have a Dutch National Film Fund in which you can apply for a film. So we applied with a yeah, screenplay, and then we got money for development. And Yeah, and then we went into those programs that I just talked about. You get to meet other co-financers who are interested, and then so we had a co-producer from Belgium. We had a co-producer from Estonia, and then you have a point system. So if it's a if it's people who are very likely to work with together, like Netherlands and Flanders, Belgium, that's obvious that they work together because they're so close to each other and they share the same language, the Dutch language. You get less point, but Estonia you get more point because that's not we don't have many relationships in film, so it's you get more points if you make new contacts, and the more points you get, the more money you get from the Europe Media Fund, I think. So we had good points for money from that multiple country fund. So in the end, we had 3 countries. Dus Holland, the Netherlands, the same, Belgium, and Estonia, and we had some funding from media. And we had on very early age, we had a distributor, international sales. So Level K was on board, which really helps. And we had a Dutch broadcaster called BNN-Vara, and they were also attached, and they bring in some money. So that's the whole financial plan.
So, what has been the collaboration with the cast and the crew for Idyllic?
Well, what was really interesting for crew and cast, because it's an international co-production, you also need people from abroad to work on your film, which is really hard because it's hard to, meet people beforehand before you work together, because they are living on the other side of the country. Sorry, I'm so distracted by the workers that they're living in another country, so it's hard to meet people. You can of course meet people via Zoom or Google Meet, but it's different. You have to work with these people for so long, and I rather see people in real life. So that was interesting. I think it's good that you have a good international connection beforehand. So that's why international film festivals are so important, that you broaden your network with international crew. Yeah, and cast. We had a great casting process. Yeah, everyone was really enthusiastic about the script, so it was really quite easy to get the people attached that I wanted. Yeah, and I think they're top of the bill, and everybody was so great in their performance. So that we really, me and the casting director dove into each actor that it should be like the perfect one, and because it's an ensemble film, there's like 50 actors. Everybody had to be, precisely the right character, and that took a long time, but we managed that, I think. So yeah, I think that's the most important thing about the casting process.
So, your earlier works like Good Life and Goodbye Strangers were widely praised. So, how's your approach to filmmaking evolved over the years, and has it changed during this film?
That's a good question. I think A Good Life was one of my first big films, so it's a 50-minute film. How did it change? I don't know. I think I just went on with the same vibe as I love to work with cast and crew, and I love to work with actors. So that's something that I really um, to my other films, and maybe I learned the most from making two feature films in 4 years, because I just kind of went from the one to the other, and I started out doing the same um, ritual, no, not ritual, but mechanism. And then I realized, no, this is a total different project. I really need to change my view on how to build this film. Um, so yeah, every film has its own process, and I think that's one of the biggest things I've learned. And yeah, I realized it even more. It's not about the film, but it's about the process. That's what I really like. And if I enjoy it there, then the film will be good. I think it will show on the film.
So it's going to be premiered at Rotterdam, and it's the competition as well. So what are your expectations from the festival and the audience?
Oh, that's such a good question. I was at a drink yesterday evening and with the whole film community of Holland. So we had a New Year's drink, and everybody was, I want to come. I really want to see it, and so it's a good vibe already. But it's also making me a little bit nervous. Because it will be screened in an IMAX venue with 400 people, and it's going to be huge. And I don't know, it's 400 people that they are there. So that's kind of scary. Um, and it's a personal film. So I think that makes it the scariest part, because I also wrote it, and that's somehow different than a film that you only direct, because it's so personal. And yeah, I don't know, in 2 weeks.
So also my question is like Rotterdam is a huge festival and it's from Netherlands as well. So as a filmmaker from Netherlands, like does it help in the distribution process? Like your film will be premiered at Rotterdam, and does it help in distribution in any in your country as well?
Yeah, definitely, because there's a lot of attention already. There's a magazine that tipped Idyllic as one of the films to watch. So it's already starting to get a buzz, and that really helps with um, domestic. What's the word? Telling about yeah, that everybody would know about the film.
Recognition.
Yeah, yeah, it really helps with domestic recognition. So I hope that helps to bring the audience towards the cinemas. Um, yeah, and of course, because it's Rotterdam, a lot of people will see the film already. I think we have 1,200 seats um, during the festival, so that's really a lot. So it really helps with a good start of the film. And the film will go into the cinemas March 13. So we have like 6 weeks gap between the festival and the release in the cinema. So it's a good amount of time to um, get the film promoted.
So are there any films and filmmakers that have influenced you a lot? You can give me a list.
Oh, oh, yes, so many films. So the film has a really big um, honor. What's the word? Honor, praise, wink towards Fellini. So it opens with a shot from a helicopter with an ostrich beneath it,
La Dolce
over a
Vita.
city. Yeah. Um, so Fellini inspired me, but also the American screenwriter Charlie Kaufman. I really enjoy his work a lot. Um, how he deals with structure. That's something that I was really inspiring to me. Um, Kasavitz, when this acting. Yeah, so many. Yeah, I cannot like give a list now, but I think those three really influenced me. Yeah.
Any few filmmakers from Netherlands?
Yeah. That's a good question. I really enjoy the work of Maaike de Jong, how she deals with actors. I think she's fantastic with actors. Alex van Warmerdam, his absurdistic ways of telling a story. Um, yeah, I think those two are great. And also Paul Verhoeven. I shouldn't forget him. Um, yeah, I recently saw his film Basic Instinct again. I haven't seen it for 30 years, and now I saw it again, and I I don't know if the film would still be appropriate now, but how it was done with the actress, but I really enjoyed it. Yeah, it was really good filmmaking.
So my last question is, as a filmmaker and a teacher as well, so what's your advice for aspiring filmmakers who want to make film, like young filmmakers or aspiring filmmakers?
My advice for young aspiring filmmakers is to stay true to yourself and don't copy other filmmakers. Be inspired, but stay true to yourself. Uh, yeah, that's really important, I think.